Competitions. There are a lot of them outside there, where you send your music and eventually you get a prize, ranging from no prize, just recognition, a CD, 500 euros, 2,000 euros, 10,000 euros, 15,000 euros. Okay, once again, you may not always win all the prizes, so it's difficult to count on this issue to make a living. And what is incredible is that there are certain composers that have a tendency to get many of these prizes, and others that never get a prize. And it's not a quality issue. It's a kind of, I don't know, internal component of the music that may be more attractive in a competition process. Publishers. This was the tradition we inherited from the 19th century. You would find a publisher that would publish your works, that will give you a salary, and you would make already a living through the publisher. A publisher normally takes 50% of your rights. So whatever money you make, not he makes, you give half to him. So if somebody decides to perform your music on the radio, the publisher will get 50%, even if it didn't do anything to it. So since times are difficult, publishers tend to do less and less and less towards composers, or work only for the 2 or 3 that generate a regular income. So it becomes a complete impossibility to make your life out of a publisher. So that's why they put it underneath auto-publishing. That's interesting, because if you want to make instrumental music, then, and you want to make an orchestral work, then you need to make the individual scores. And that's a lot of time, lots of mistakes that come in the music. So people tend, there are wonderful tools today that make that every composer is a potential publisher for his own music. So we had to learn something new. Then the rights, TV, radio, concerts, internet. So just to give you an idea, I talked already about radio and television, concerts. If your music is performed in a concert where there are 2,000 people that paid at least 30 euros to get in, and your music lasts 30 minutes, you may get 200 euros rights associated to that, no concert rights. On internet, I know a guy who got €1. But he was lucky. No, there can be some more out of it. But we have to make also an equivalence between the domain we are talking about and the capacity of diffusion, expansion, which is huge in internet, but it doesn't go through the circuits that may generate revenue. So life is getting more and more difficult. Hopefully we have the other associated activities in which you can put to profit your knowledge and your know-how about life and institutions. So here's where I try to be positive. You have to market your products. Maybe a surprising issue. Many of you do it already, and there are many good marketing people in the compositional domain. I mean, who know how to sell the music. I mean, sell means creating an interest in other people for your products. It's very crude when I say it that way, but I have to convince somebody to make a commission, to order a commission, to play on the radio, to make a concert, etc., etc., etc. And it's not because they decide that it's interesting what I do that they will do it. So normally a composer is searching for all these issues: concert organizers, competitions, subventions, publishers, festivals, wherever his music may be played. once again, he's an establishment composer. He thinks that there's a chain of communication between composers and the audience, so he should be played and his music should be known, and his music, of course, is wonderful, so I have to fight for it. So he's looking for this. So what does he need? Efficient tools, an efficient CV. I don't know how many CVs I've received in my life by composers, but I must be nearing 500 or 600. And I've seen many of them, many which just you as a reader have to try to find out what's behind and to make a divination of what the guy may be, or the person may be. Another CVs that tend to present what a person is, which go more directly to your comprehension. You need good tools to reproduce your music. You need good recordings. You need good quality. If you receive a poor recording and an analog cassette filled with hiss and hum, it used to happen very often. Now you receive hiss and hum on CDs, but you always have hiss and hum because it's difficult to get a good recording. Normally somebody did it in the back of the room with his mobile phone and then they send you a copy. That will not play for you. There's a conversation often had with composers, young or not young, is they come to me with a project for a work and they write 10 pages of explanation of what the work will be. And I tell them, do you want this to be a contract? If it is a contract, then at the end of your work, I'll come and check all the points you wrote down on the paper. And then we see if the contract is fulfilled, then I will pay you. If not, I really don't care what you explain about your music. What I'm interested in is the music you did, the good recordings. Why do you want to do something? And the global description of the project. I mean, what is the project for? How much will it last? If you have some kind of idea of what kind of sound situation you want to explore and to show, you can do it. And then photos, films, any information that may push somebody, a decider, to say, okay, this guy is interesting. Let's listen to his music. Oh, sounds nice. Oh, he really has some good ideas when he talks about his music. I used to teach in an art school with another art teacher, and we had a one-year-long course in which we proposed to the students the following situation. We two teachers are organizing an exhibition, and we are going to choose works at the end of the year. Here is the subject. Now you should present not the finalized work, but your intentions, some drawings, some sketches, give us an idea how much it will cost, how will you light the installation, etc., etc. Now the main constraint is that we only have 5 minutes to look at your project. So make it short. So the idea was that during all the year we would work on the artistic project and at the same time work on the way the project would be presented. And we would give global subjects as interference or, I don't know, distance and things like that. And then at the end we had a huge bunch of written stuff, but very compact definitions, descriptions, and understandings, explanations of how the work will be. And it's exactly what I'm saying here. That was oriented towards artists which have other ways of showing than musicians. It's very difficult to show your intentions, written intentions, when you're making music. So a composer, if he wants to make market, he may have to write many, many letters, to meet people, send music and scores, participate to events, be in an association. There are many associations. talked earlier today with the FARME, the Federation of Electroacoustic Music of Argentina. So it's a way where people get together to exchange, find performers. It's a very important activity, mainly today when you find excellent performers everywhere, and many of them are willing to get in touch with contemporary music. Now, let's not forget that the composer has to compose also, because you have to have a product to market. It has to have to be empty marketing. You're not a marketing company that's trying to sell the impossible. You're trying to sell the possible, which is your music. Now here I come to an essential question. What do you want to be as a composer? How do you project yourself in the future when you look at yourself as a composer? You may want to be famous. Oh, there comes Teruggi. Oh, wonderful. Oh, come here, maestro. Once in my life I had said that. I was in Italy. I made a concert with 1,500 people. And the next day I woke up in the hotel very late, and I was sitting there drinking a coffee, and the owner of the hotel, which I didn't know at all, came to me, slapped my shoulder, and told me, "What a success, maestro." No? So there I was, famous that day. Then you may just want to have your music played. There are many discreet, modest composers who just want to communicate their music. They don't want to be famous. They don't want to market. They just want a simple relationship. Earn lots of money. We should put a cross on this if we are within this context. I mean, there may be exceptions. I don't know any, but okay. It's maybe your intention. I am trying to analyze the global possible intention. Share music with friends. Here's where you go back to the private sphere. I just compose the works. I show my wife or to my friends, and then we make an evening and we discuss about that or whatever.